Map number 1 in the best of 3 series, everybody. The losers bracket of the Endgame Gear Masters playoffs. And we have Xlord currently at the bottom left of Northern Isles, going up against his Nightelf opponent towards the top right, LongWalk. A best of 3 series that will determine which one of the two players still has a chance to qualify for the offline event in Germany. We started into the playoffs of the Endgame Gear Master with 8 players, and currently we're trying to determine the final 4 that will then play in Germany at the offline event in Osnabrück on the 17th of August, 2 days after my birthday actually. And again, there's 2,500 on the line for that event in prize money, and on top of that, of course, also hardware from Endgame Gear and AMD as well. The event itself, by the way, is open to the public. There's going to be a barbecue on the day. We're going to have a couple of players invited from the old days like Taker and Hazuops. The players are obviously going to be on site, and I'll be there too. So if you guys want to stop by for a great day of WarCraft 3 with a bit of relaxed action and barbecue time, then you can definitely do that. It's open to the public, and if you want to have more information, you can go to endgamegear-masters.com and check all the details out there. Now, Xlord has another chance against Nightelf to go through here, but if he wants to make it to the offline event, same is obviously true for LongWalk, then the winner of this series has to also defeat, I think it's actually White and Nerdy in the bracket later on. Don't do it! Don't kill the frog! No! Why? Frog didn't do anything. I honestly don't know what Xlord's hate against like all these critters is. Usually critters are an undead's friend because you can always spawn a couple of skeletons on the way. In this case, that is not the way, but let's see. All the way up to the top, what do we have here? We're actually seeing a little bit of creep going on for LongWalk, who is starting things off with a keeper again. The Acolyte is already trying to annoy that slightly. Shockingly enough, we have another Death Knight for the undead forces. I think the only... I mean, there's a couple of players these days that experiment with other heroes, but I feel the only one who occasionally deviates away from the Death Knight is someone like Madfrog, who sometimes against human, at least on ladder, pulls out a Dreadlord and goes for his expansion plays. But obviously, on the highest level of play, it's pretty much standard to start with the Death Knight here, whereas Nightelf has occasionally been trying to deviate away from the Keeper a little bit, but it's still an absolute beast. There's a few Nightelf players that have in the past tinkered around earlier Demon Hunter openings and others, but generally speaking, this is just still the name of the game. And the Keeper offers obviously a lot. I mean, you get a lot of map control in the early stages of the game through entangles. You have easier creeping with the treants and the force of nature as well. So it's a very, very strong early game hero. A little bit weak then later on in the game when it comes to survivability, since the Coil Nova combo against an undead can definitely wreck you pretty hard. But then again, to be fair, that's true for most heroes out there. So either way, Keeper opening, incredibly powerful still. And I mean, we've seen already now a few times from players like Neutron and Foggy, them going straight into the early tech, into the Tree of Ages, adding the expansion, and then just simply trying to fend off the timing attack of the Undead to finally capitalize on the double income, and then overwhelming the opponent's forces in the later stages of the game right there. So with this now done, we're currently having the clause of attack +6 at this point. We're having down to the bottom left right now. Necropolis already halfway completed. Demon Hunter is maybe even joining as a second hero, but LongWalk is oftentimes employing a bit of a different style. It's mainly Neutron who really likes to do that. Death Knight will very likely be joined by the Lich later, and we have him now with the Staff of Teleportation, which is going to make it a bit easier for him to really go up and start to be aggressive against Wisps in the main base. And talking about Wisps, another one is already getting chased a little bit down here. Skeleton on the run. But we have still Xlord trying to sneak a couple of Death Coils in to take the experience. LongWalk then again is on level 2 already, which means that we're having him with also the opportunity to drop a couple of entangles here. He's not really high on mana though, so that's definitely a bit of a concern. There's the tree already put into motion. As we've seen, a bit of experience also for the Death Knight, thanks to the ghouls that have started to creep. So Xlord is trying to do now what we oftentimes see, is trying to creep on one side of the map, in this case actually without a hero at all. Well, as I say it, he teleports in, while he still harasses a bit all the way up at the top. Didn't get another Death Coil through there that was actually successful. So with this said, we're now having once more the Tusker Trappers attack. Both of the players are going for their second base. at least for the creep, and that's a level 2 for the Death Knight, so Unholy Aura is now part of the equation for him. But we don't see an Acolyte or anything sent over here. Xlord right now still playing this out nicely with just the Harass and the one-base play. Parry up the Vitality for him. On the other side, when we're looking towards LongWalk, we have him also now with the Crystal Ball. So yeah, gets a little bit more vision on this. Can obviously scout quite easily into the main base and see where exactly he's at. And Xlord is going for an expansion after all, as it seems. Yeah, gets the Acolyte in play, delays the attack into the Black Citadel a little bit. Lich comes through and is now on the attack. I mean, obviously, if you want to build a base in this case, you can always become a little bit more aggressive on the map and really try and make sure that your opponent has to react to you. But especially with the Crystal Ball in the inventory, I don't think there's any chance that LongWalk is going to miss out on that expansion. Killing one ghoul already thanks to an Entangle, not able to drop a second one since he's just not close enough to the action. We're having still a bit of aggression against the expansion up there towards the top. And that's going to force a reaction from LongWalk. And that is going to buy time for Xlord, who obviously is now attempting to get the gold mine in. We're also having a Sacrificial Skull on the Lich, so we're going to see Blight there any second. And that will allow him to drop the Ziggurats on top of that, which is exactly what we should see in just a moment. First one already being built. And LongWalk, as it seems, doesn't have any idea just yet. The Ancient of Wind transition, that is pretty typical right now, is already started. So that's definitely coming. And, well, as long as LongWalk doesn't really know about this expansion, there's no real problem for Xlord yet. The Keeper heading into the middle, obviously going to try, well, actually starting to shift gears a little bit towards the bottom, has also used the Crystal Ball just a second ago. Alchemist is already in. Oh, and that was unfortunate, but Staff of Teleportation solves the problem, at least for now. Now, LongWalk is already moving away from this again, since his base at the top is getting attacked, and that's a fantastic move from Xlord again. The good old snipe the gold mine play that we're seeing against Nightelf now. And that's actually fantastic for him, because he delays all the income that LongWalk could theoretically get from this base. While he himself has already the first Ziggurat up, in comes the tech into the Nerubian Tower, second Ziggurat probably upgraded into the Spirit Tower soon, and his gold mine is actually active before we're having one for LongWalk. Xlord is going to mine from 2 bases faster than his opponent does. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Now, in the main base, he obviously hasn't started a tier 3 take yet either, but he's already mining with 2 Acolytes, while up to the top, the gold mine is just now getting entangled. A bit of aggression against the Keeper now, as Xlord is moving in again. And as long as he's keeping LongWalk busy, there's little that the Night Elf can do. He's sitting at 44 supply against the 35 that we're seeing for Xlord, but it's again the same aggression against the gold mine that we've previously seen. So the Wisps are getting attacked now too. That drops the first ones. And as Wisp after Wisp falls, that is going to delay mining even more. And in addition to that, it obviously also costs the Night Elf player a lot of gold here. So Xlord is starting to be in a better and better position as time continues. He still needs tier 3. As an Undead player, you are very reliant on the Orb of Corruption, on tier 3 just in general. A third hero is what we're normally seeing from any Undead hero too. And it really feels like LongWalk hasn't even spotted that there is an expansion down at the bottom. I assumed that earlier, but everything that we're seeing so far really indicates that LongWalk isn't quite aware what's going on here. But that delay on his mining is obviously a big problem. Staff of Teleportation handed over, and yeah, 19 hit points. Guys, he might still die. He might still die. Isn't there a shot flying from... Yep, there we go. 15 hit points left on the Lich. Down here on the other hand, Spirit Tower, Nerubian Tower, 1 Acolyte too many even. Well, there's also the Hippogriff Riders coming in. LongWalk is sitting on 47 supply. The tech into the Black Citadel has started now as well. And once again, we're seeing the Scout. And at least now... there should be a little bit of suspicion for LongWalk, and he's already sending a Wisp over because he's realizing pretty quickly, wait a second. You don't have tier 3? You don't have an Orb of Corruption just yet? What exactly is going on here right now? So he should know that there is an expansion in his opponent's hands as well. But Xlord is looking great now. 50 supply against 40. Xlord just has to fend off this attack. Is already getting web for his fiends. Has 1 fiend in action. And is also building a Ziggurat now. Because he knows that he just needs to fend off this attack to put himself into a decent spot here. Crypt and Necropolis are now both being built by him. And especially with that Cryptid play, I actually want to see if he eventually considers a switch into a different unit style. I mean, I wouldn't really assume that that's what we're going to see, but he needs Fiends, he needs a couple of Ghouls on the grounds if he really wants to play this. I don't really think that the Gargoyle transition would necessarily be of benefit for him. LongWalk is also, by the way, staying in the no upkeep, so it's not crossing 50 supply. Well, and as I say it, he just does. But he went into 1,000 gold before he made that happen finally. Well, and here comes the aggression. Starting to move in. Obviously, the Ziggurat isn't quite done yet, and it's again the attempt to snipe the gold mine. The same play that Neutron pulled off against Enter in the earlier series here today. So the repair is in, but there's just a little bit too much to defend already. The Fiend coming in. Second Spirit Tower is done now too. A lot of the Acolytes are falling. That's definitely true, but it might seem there might be a little bit more falling. And damn, LongWalk is sticking it out here. He really wants to take this down. One Acolyte is mining and not actually repairing, so that needs to be changed if he wants to pull that off. But one Hippogriff Rider is down. Second one might fall and barely survives, if I've seen that correctly. Yes, he does. Town Portal used. I'm not quite sure if that was really worth it in the end for LongWalk. So Acolytes are being rebuilt again. And that was quite a little bit of gold that both players lost here, but I think at the end of the day it was a worse trade for LongWalk. The Nightelf player needs to be a bit more careful with this. Was hoping to take that. I mean, he committed. He really committed to that mine. And couldn't really pull it off. So, yep, with this now we're having still Ixi starting to do his damage here against the Ice Troll Warlord on level 6. And since LongWalk is moving all the way up to the top left, doesn't really seem like he is going to be able to creep check this one. Okay, there we have it. Healing wards are now in the inventory for him as well. With good positioning, he might be able to get some nice sustain on the Fiends in the main base. Ooh, double. How much does he have now? Plus 15 could have been worse. So plus 2, plus 5 and plus plus 6 and plus 9 gloves. And I guess he's going to get the Orb of Corruption soon enough, as tier 3 has now been reached. So that would be plus 20 for him in damage, which isn't too bad. Magna Tau Reaver on the other hand. Let's see what we're going to see dropped from him. Not really a lot of items on the Alchemist right now, but at least... Oh, we have another base coming in. Always try and stay one base ahead of the Undead player. That's what he's trying to pull off here. Cut Gas Pipe of Insight. That would have been an absolutely insane item for the Undead forces. But I gotta say that Alaria's Fluid of Accuracy is also not too bad. So both players walk away with an aura item here. But yeah, that Cut-Gas Pipe of Insight would have been absolutely insane for the Undead. But the ranged aura is pretty great too. So here's the attack on the Black Citadel. The immediate portal. I mean, he doesn't waste any time for this one. Alright, portals in, gets the Nova through. That should be a hit or two. Would not be surprised to see the Orb of Corruption taken. Yep, and he immediately starts attacking the ranged units here. That was a Staff of Teleportation, by the way, that brought him here. So not going for a town portal, but he is just taking down these Hippogriff Riders. Holy shit, LongWalk. Yeah, he lost way too much here. I mean, again, a bad trade for him. That Lich portaling him, that cost him... Oh, great scout from Xlord as well. But yeah, that Lich portal alone, that really prepared the entire army so that he could take, I think, 3 Hippogriff Riders down. That was fantastic for Xlord. The town portal obviously had to be used too, and LongWalk is already typing GG here. Yeah, Xlord just with a much better army at this point, has the double base, destroyed the base attempt all the way up at the top, and that last portal just cost LongWalk way too much. Taps out, Xlord victorious, and with that now we're having a 1-0 lead for Xlord in the best of 3 series. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. LongWalk tapping out in game number 1 after Xlord successfully defended his expansion and main base, took half the army down of his opponent. Now we are on Concealed Hill and all the way to the top right. We have LongWalk, the Nightelf player, down 1 game in the best of 3. Has to win 2 in a row now if he wants to stay in the tournament. Xlord wants to advance to face an Undead Mirror in the next round, which would determine which one of the players makes it into the next round, which would be the offline finals actually then. So he was so far pretty successful with the setup that he pulled off here. Let's see if he can take the Nightelf down on this map as well. LongWalk in this case, a little bit unfortunate on the last map too. I mean, he tried to expand again, and that approach was quickly denied by the Lord himself, because the early scout with a skeleton allowed him to send a few units over to force an immediate cancel on this one. So it was a bit of a tricky one, for sure. At that, what else do we have? We currently have the altar nearly done. That means that we're going to see the Death Knight back in action. Do we see anything shifted from LongWalk's perspective in terms of styles? Not really. LongWalk still with the Keeper. The old geezer with the green hair. I mean, honestly, I don't even want to know how old that guy is. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of lore fans out there that can tell me exactly how old he is. But I would assume very. Because if your beard gets mossy and grey already, or mossy and green, then something is definitely wrong with you. And yeah, LongWalk. What are we going to see with that Wisp? I mean, in a couple of previous plays, he actually tried to also set up a bit more of an early aggression thanks to a Protector they put out. That was mostly against Orc players that we've seen so far, but he was facing off against Spiral. LongWalk himself right now obviously preparing just for additional XP to be gathered here on the map now. And in this case, it's going to be a little bit more tricky for him to reach level 2 that quickly. So we will most likely see a little bit of action around the Death Knight arriving at his opponent's base. And let's see. Rod of Necromancy in the inventory already. And it's time to shine. Let's find out if Xlord can actually make the 2-0 a reality, or if LongWalk is fighting back into this. Wisp is going to scout out the expansion later on. The first creep is obviously over. That gives us a Circle of Nobility for the Keeper. And at this point, the Turtles are the next goal. At least a couple of skeletons are already summoned. And Xlord might just be able to get some aggression into the main base going. Maybe drop a Wisp or two. And therefore decrease the lumber income in a little bit. I mean, we had a couple of previous games, especially when he was playing against Foggy, where exactly that lumber income was the deciding factor. And Foggy had just an absolutely insane game there. Someone wants the item. Yeah, I can't quite get that. It was a bit of a bait too. I mean, at this point you could really tell that LongWalk was already thinking about attempting us around there. But yeah, drops the entangle since he already reached level 2. But ghouls have now joined the fun too. A nice rush actually from Xlord so far. Very aggressive against those early archers that we're currently seeing from LongWalk, and since he just used also mana to deal with the Death Knight, it means that he doesn't have a whole lot to deal with the rest here. So archers are starting to fall, and that's not the only thing that's falling. I mean, the Wisp is already getting chased too. We're having the Death Knight keeping out of harm's way, but that little harass with all of those ghouls is absolutely fantastic for him. Xlord has delayed his own attack slightly through this, but it's definitely working for him right now. If he can get another coil through and save the ghoul, that would be the dream for him. Putting also LongWalk in real trouble on the Keeper, as that guy is starting to just drop in HP. One ghoul might be down, but that Keeper is in real trouble, especially since the Death Knight is going to have another Death Coil ready very, very soon. Guys, we could see the Keeper fall. I mean, seriously, at this point I would be kind of shocked if he doesn't fall. If he just sets a couple of ghouls on him again, another archer about to fall, and yep, there we have it. Keeper has to retreat again, and archers are getting absolutely demolished. LongWalk is down to 19 supply. Xlord is on 24. Gets another coil into the ghoul to save the ghoul here instead of trying to hope in on the Keeper. Again, only on level 1 so far, obviously the coil, but just look at the experience. He's nearly level 2 now with this hero. More archers are coming through, and this is an absolute disaster for LongWalk at this point. In the main base of the Undead player, we're having a graveyard. We're seeing the Necropolis currently being built. There's no... well, the tech is currently starting here for him, but the entire setup is just fantastic, and that's obviously shutting down the early creep patterns of the Nightelf pretty efficiently. He is investing a lot though, Xlord that is, but he's also taking down a lot. Another Wisp falls, and LongWalk is really starting to suffer from this. He still has the Moonwells though, and it is night, so those Moonwells are slowly regenerating, and that definitely helps with the defense. But another archer is also taken down, and Xlord just doesn't let up. And now that he knows that the Keeper doesn't have any mana left, he was able to get a bit more aggression going on against him too, without fearing an entangle. Saved a lot of ghouls there in the process. Attempted Wisp block at the same time now, as we're seeing him try and pull that off. And that Wisp block might just be enough to take down another ghoul. Yep, that Wisp is a bit of a beast. And that's going to be the end of this one. Nearly level 3 now for the Keeper. And as we are done with the attack, we have Xlord slightly ahead in experience. He has also now the Lich on the way, and we could see him with another attack. But the one thing that's definitely missing is the traditional expansion that we are having at this time of a Night Elf player. So the entire pattern definitely broken. Level 2 against level 3 now on the heroes, but a pretty insane setup here So we have the Death Knight starting to come back into the main base, seeing if he can maybe take a little bit more down. Especially those wisps, obviously, are an issue. I mean, just look at this. LongWalk is currently just producing wisp after wisp because he lost so many to that harass. And he can't really afford to lose another wisp that would give him at least some wood, some lumber. Tree of Life is now also being produced, but, well, that spot hasn't been crept yet either. The Lich is already back to business. And in the main base, we see the tech into tier 3, and we have the Slaughterhouse now as well. So he is starting to be extremely aggressive with this. Starting to go straight for the expansion while setting 3 ghouls all the way towards the top right again. Seems like LongWalk is actually trying to be a bit aggressive on his own now to at least check if at the expansion spot there's something happening right now, which isn't really the case. But once that the Undead discovers the Tree of Life, this will have to be cancelled. He will have to cancel this one. The entire army is so far away that he won't be able to save the Tree of Life here. The ghouls are in the meantime moving into the main base. Here's the portal that he just used. He just used the portal to save the tree here as well. So he might be able to get that one saved after all. Barely, I might add. But in the main base, we're now having ghouls starting to chase these wisps. And what about the Tree of Life? The ghouls are coming in and just look at it. He needs to cancel it. He lost the town portal. He needs to cancel the tree. And now the ghouls are attacking even more archers. This is a disaster for LongWalk. He's already down 1 game in this series and now he's losing more wisps again. His entire concept, his entire strategy on this map has been completely demolished by his opponent. And we're seeing Xlord nearly with the tier 3 tech right now. Absolutely fantastic setup for the Undead player and a real problem for the Nightelf, who is just desperately trying to get anything done right now. We don't have a second hero for him. In his main base, well, we are seeing him at least with Ancient of Laws, but you can already tell this entire idea of going expansion into double Ancient of Wind is already shut down, so he goes into Ancient of Laws on 1 base right now. Kills the frog as well, shame on you. Peter has been informed, report has been sent. And Xlord has scouted everything. Xlord knows exactly what's going on here. And he has so far not really stopped to creep at any point, but he can now be aggressive again into the main base. And in terms of supply, he's also still ahead. He is ahead in supply against the Nightelf player right now. Gets now Ghoul Frenzy for his ghouls, has reached tier 3, is going to get the Orb of Corruption later on. A little bit more aggression in the main base as he is trying to also shut down the entire tech. Needs to be careful, that detonator is going to hurt. Yep, 4 of those already detonated out. Bit of aggression from the Lich against the archers. Not enough mana for Nova. What about the coil? Nah, doesn't have enough for that either. But the aggression is still there. And in the main base right now, we're having already the Destroyer form upgraded. More statues going to join the fun. Yep, Ghoul Frenzy is nearly completed too. Xlord is already preparing for Death Blow to the Night Elf forces here. And this is getting really, really touchy. I mean, damn. Keeper on 3 is kind of his only hope. He doesn't have a second hero yet. I mean, he's just now trying to get the Demon Hunter in. Neutron style, but it is really, really late for him. The Lich obviously just now also getting the first few experience points, so it's not like he has a massive advantage when it comes to experience and levels. But yeah, it's still rough, and it's gonna take some time to get the Demon Hunter onto level 3 so that he can really drop a good mana burn against the Undead forces here. And this army from Xlord is now at 37 supply. LongWalk has 36, so they're at least even in that regard. But as you can imagine, 1 base Night Elf against 1 base Undead with a tech advantage to boot is a pretty rough territory for any Night Elf player here. Potion of Greater Mana is now in level 2 for the Lich. A little bit of aggression down here at the bottom, but that Keeper shouldn't really be able to do anything unless he gets onto the Ghoul, which isn't the case. And those Ghouls are actually starting to just race across the map. I mean, we are talking Frenzy Ghouls right now, and those bastards are tough. They're actually going to be really, really nasty, especially in any kind of archer line that we could possibly see here. Obviously, it becomes a question of how many items you have, and Xlord might actually go straight up to a shop and see if he can also get a Scroll of Healing here. He at least should consider it. And he goes for the creep too. Now, if he gets level 3, which he should, then that Potion of Greater Mana is going to add even more value to the entire setup, since those level 2 coils are going to do wonders. In terms of items, we see the Sentry Ward coming in. And are we going to get Healing Scrolls here for him? Right now, not really shopping anything just yet. Gets a Tomb of Intelligence now too. And has at least a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability for his heroes. And talking heroes, one of the items that we're having for his opponent, as he was trying to get the Oracle Lord, but gets actually creep checked. Oh my god, and loses the Druid of the Claw now as well. Things are definitely not looking up for the Night Elf player. He's getting completely overrun by this, guys. That Keeper is already gone. GG as Xlord takes down LongWalk with a 2-0 and moves on to the next round from the Endgame Gear Masters playoffs. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support and see you guys next time.